Dominick Reyes can possibly have the best redemption arc in the history of the sport if he beats Carlos Ulberg September 27th at UFC Fight Night Perth. Just announced yesterday. This is a must-win fight for Reyes. He got robbed from Jones, a brutal robbery. He loses to Jan Blachowicz in brutal fashion. He then loses to Yuri Prochazka in brutal fashion, and then he got knocked out by Ryan fucking Spann. And I remember watching the Ryan Spann fight. I remember watching Dominick Reyes getting brutally knocked out 3 years ago by Ryan Spann. And when I saw that, I thought he was done for good. I never imagined that he would ever fight again, let alone come back. He takes a long hiatus. He comes back to fight Dustin Jacoby. And I remember when that fight was announced, I was like, oh God, here we go again. Dustin Jacoby, a mid-level guy. He knocks out Dustin Jacoby, and I remember he was celebrating and he was all happy, and I was happy for him. But I knew he was never going to amount to anything left. He was never going to make another run for it. It was just a nice breath of relief for Dominick Reyes. And that was a win that aged quite well. Dustin Jacoby, he knocked out Vitor Petrino. He knocked out that other Brazilian guy. Dustin Jacoby's not a terrible fighter, so it aged well. Then Dominick Reyes, he knocks out Anthony Smith, which, you know, it's Anthony Smith. That's not, who cares, you know? He curls into a ball. He knocks him out. He gets him out of there. And I remember that fight, and he got the second win, but I still wasn't sold. I was like, okay, that's a nice breath of relief for Dominick Reyes. I'd be feeling quite well after losing 4 fights in a row. Then I remember the Nikita Krylov fight was announced, and I was like, okay, surely Nikita Krylov's going to beat him up. Everyone thought so. A lot of other MMA YouTubers thought that Nikita Krylov, because he's good. He's a good grappler. He's a good, well-rounded guy. He doesn't have any weaknesses. This is the guy that put a good fight to Ankalaev. But then Nikita Krylov just charges in the first round, gets brutally knocked out by Reyes. And that's when I came back. That's when I became a believer with Dominick Reyes being a victim of the Norwood Reaper. Now he's fighting Carlos Ulberg. This is his real, true test. Obviously, you know, all those other fights like Blachowicz and Prochazka, those were tougher fights, Jones, than Carlos Ulberg. But if he face plants against Carlos Ulberg, that's it. He'll lose the momentum. He'll never come back from that. If he wins, then we could see the biggest comeback story in the history of the sport. Because at that point, he'll be top 5. He'll undoubtedly be a backup fighter for the next title shot. He'll probably just have to win one more. He'll just have to win one more, and then he'll get a title shot after that. Here's the thing that I predict is going to happen. Ankalaev is going to beat Alex Pereira in the rematch. I think that's going to happen. I wish that wasn't the case. I want Chama to win. I want Poatan to win. Roundtree versus Prochazka. I think Prochazka is going to win that fight. Prochazka hasn't lost a fight to anyone that wasn't named Alex Pereira. Not in the UFC. I don't think Roundtree is going to beat Prochazka. So I think Ankalaev's going to win. Prochazka's going to win. They're going to do that fight next year, beginning of 2026. This fight's going to happen in September. Reyes, he needs to stay active because he's 35, not super duper old. We've seen guys, you know, Glover was like 41, 42 or whatever. He'll need to fight somebody else in the meantime. Maybe they could do the Blachowicz rematch just to get it back. I know at that point, if he beats Ulberg, he'll be fighting down in the rankings, but still, just to get that one back for redemption's sake, he could fight Jan Blachowicz just to not, you know, be inactive. And then he can get the title shot against Ankalaev at that point. Because if Yuri wins against Roundtree, I do think Ankalaev beats Yuri Prohaska. I think Ankalaev's good. He's very technical. He's boring. Well, he was boring in the Pereira fight. He wasn't boring against Thiago Santos. He wasn't boring against Johnny Walker. He wasn't boring against all these other guys. But against the Pereira fight, he was boring, which it makes sense. Pereira's scary. But I think Pereira is going to get brutally knocked out in the rematch. So yeah, Olberg versus Reyes, ranked 3 versus ranked 8. I'm excited. I will be rooting and picking for Dominick Reyes just to manifest his victory. He needs to win this one. I'm rooting for the underdog. I'm rooting for this story. I'm rooting for Dominick Reyes to get redemption against the curse that was placed upon him by John Jones for robbing him. He was robbed of greatness. And I remember that fight. It was in 2020. I remember watching that fight. Reyes won. Reyes won. For the winner by unanimous decision. God, fuck you. Reyes won that fucking fight. And Reyes will have his revenge. So I am placing a curse on Carlos Olberg for being a boring fighter. He beats Jan Blachowicz and Volkan Ozdemir. I don't remember those fights. I watched them. I can't remember anything happening. Nothing happened. No big punches, no knockdowns, no submission attempt, like nothing. Alonzo Menefield, I remember that fight. Alonzo Menefield's a tard. He just came charging in the first, like as soon as the bell rang. He's just an idiot and got knocked out. And all the other, Ihor Potieria, mediocre. Ihor Potieria is like the worst light heavyweight of all time. Dawoon Jung lost 4 in a row. Nikolai Negum, who the fuck even is this? Okay, so Carlos Olberg, he's going to lose. Dominick Reyes has this. Let's fucking go, Reyes. Don't disappoint me.